everybody. I am Assistant Dean Huff, Assistant Dean of Undergraduate Programs here in the Steve Hicks School of Social Work. Welcome to this video about field internships now that you've been admitted to the practice sequence. I'm joined today by a couple folks I'm going to have introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Alexis Kyle, and I'm the undergraduate programs administrator. I oversee part of what goes on in the BSW program as well as advise. So you'll be seeing me a lot if you haven't seen me a lot already. And I'll pass it to Tanya.
Hi, I'm Tanya Voss, and I'm the Assistant Dean for Field Education. What that means is that I get to work with all of our students in the school at the BSW and MSSW level for their field internships. I'm happy to be here.
Great. So, first of all, congratulations on your admission to the social work practice sequence. As it sounds, you will now be taking a series of practice classes in social work, ending with the most important practice classes in field education. And so what that means is that you'll be taking classes in-depth skills in working with individuals, families, groups, organizations, communities, and then also macro practice. And then by the time you get to field, you're going to have a chance to practice all of those skills and use them with actual humans. So some things to be kind of considering. This really is like a transition in terms of your learning. You've taken some classes in social work, you've had some academic learning. This is a time to transition into starting to think about yourself as a professional social worker. And so what that means is thinking about how you can be consistent and accountable in the work you're doing in the classroom spaces in these practice classes. So things like showing up to class consistently. If you're unable to make a class, communicating with the instructor. That piece of doing what you say you're going to do or letting people know that you're unable to do those things. Reaching out for help if you need help from either Alexis or me or somebody else in the program if you need some additional support. Starting to think about your classmates as, definitely classmates that you're practicing with, but also these are your peers who are going to become professional social workers with you. So making that transition in your thinking and your practice now to get ready for field. Professor Voss, what else should students be thinking about at this point?
Yeah, I mean, all the things that you said. I know when I was growing up, my dad always said that what you practice is what you will perform. And so that's why we're talking about this transition, to begin practicing what you want to perform in the workspace. So that's part of what you were saying, Dean Huff, about coming into, attending class on time, communicating with your professor, consulting with your colleagues who right now are your students in your classes with you, finding constructive ways to be, I hesitate to use the word conflict, but to have tension, to find ways to move through that. So this is your practice sequence is rehearsal for field, which is the dress rehearsal for the performance of your professional career. And so you want to begin to take that in. You want to begin to see yourself not only as a student, but also as a student who is a part of a proud profession, part of a top 10 school of social work in the country, and someone who's going to go out there and make a real impact on the lives of vulnerable people. And so it's something that we want to honor and respect and take seriously as you move forward. Congratulations on getting to this point.
Thanks so much for that. So we have a few questions for Alexis that we've heard often from students, and so we figured we would go over them here. And thinking about planning for field over the next 3 to 4 semesters. So Alexis, can practice sequence classes be taken at the same time as field?
No, they cannot. So your practice classes do need to be completed before you go into your field internship, because like Kasi has mentioned before, these practice classes are going to teach you the skills about how to practice specifically with individuals, groups, families, communities, etc. So just like you wouldn't want, to work with a doctor who has yet to take biology or organic chemistry, the same thing, we don't want to send you out into your field internship without having gone through all of these classes, just so that you're prepared for any scenario that you might come across. So short answer, no, you need to complete your practice sequence classes before going into field.
Okay, and then thank you for that. And can students take other classes at the same time as field?
So we don't recommend it, and Tanya is very against it. And that's because you're going to be working like over 30 hours at these internships, and the last thing you're going to want to do upon coming home is reading Shakespeare and preparing for your British literature test tomorrow. We have had students in the past who, absolutely needed to take that last, literature or government class while doing their internship, because of extenuating circumstances. But if you can avoid it, we do not recommend taking any classes while doing your field internship.
If I may add, just to underscore what you're saying, field should be tiring. I mean, if you are bringing your whole self to bear, as we hope you are, your head and your heart and your hands in your internship, at the end of the day, you should be kind of done. And so we don't want you to have extra things on top of that might keep you from being successful in field and doing your best.
Thank you for that clarification. And a follow-up question, how many hours is field? When students are in field full time, how many academic hours are they taking?
Yeah, it's 480 hours total. I don't know the academic numbers.
Yeah, so as far as hours that are like considering you full-time or not, during the field internship, you're going to be registered for 16 total hours. So that's going to be 2 6-hour classes, which are not like real classes. Those are just 12 credit hours that we're awarding you for doing such a large internship. And then the next following hours are going to be a 4-hour seminar, where you'll be having to come back to campus for that seminar at least once a week.
Yeah, because field is considered, it's a class in a non-traditional setting, right? So you're earning a course credit while you're in field, and that's 480 hours over either one semester or 2 semesters. And Ms. Kyle can help you work that out. So it breaks down to about 32 to 36 hours a week in one semester, or 16 to 20 hours a week over 2 semesters.
So helpful. Thanks, you all. And then one other question for Alexis. Do students have to do field in their last semester?
As long as it's in your senior year, so it can be in your very last semester or in the semester before. What's most important is that you're done with the practice sequence classes. So we do have students who, let's say your senior year is taking over the course of a fall and a spring semester. More traditionally, students would do it in their very, very last semester, which would be in the spring. They complete their field internship, they walk across the stage, and that's it. We say goodbye. Happy trails. But some students decide to do their field internship in the fall semester, either because the fall semester is their last semester, maybe they're graduating early or they're graduating a semester later, or they might have other commitments to maybe a second major. So the one major that comes to mind is Plan 2. So Plan 2 students, for example, need to complete a thesis. They might choose to do their field internship in the fall semester of their senior year, and then come back and complete their Plan 2 thesis in the spring semester of their senior year. So it's really on a case-by-case basis. Like I said, more traditionally, students would do it in their very, very, very last semester that they're here at UT. But like I said, if you had other commitments to maybe a second major or a certificate, we're open to you doing your internship in your second to last semester, so long as you've completed all of your practice sequence classes.
It sounds like if students have stuff going on, they should probably talk to you. Like if they're doing anything that seems like it is maybe not traditional. And I think that we've covered this, but just to clarify one more time, students can complete their internships in one semester or two. Is that correct, Professor Voss?
That is absolutely correct. It's important that you stay in contact with Ms. Kyle about when to start, because there is a process to get to field. There is the semester prior to when you start field, whether you choose to do one semester of 480 hours or two semesters at 240 over 2 semesters. There is a process, because we don't just throw you in any old placement. We want to hear from you what you're interested in, what you've prepared for, what your expertise or what your professional goals are, so that we can match you with an internship that fits where you're headed, that fits what you're interested in. So that semester prior to starting field is really important. And in that process, you'll have the chance to look at your options and go, oh, this one is only 1 semester at a time, huh? Do I want to change my plans and stick to 1 semester? Oh, these are my options that are extended over 2 semesters. Those look good, but there aren't as many of them. What do I want to do? So you'll have that information in the semester prior to starting your field internship.
Thank you. Can internships start in the summer?
No. Internships cannot start in the summer. They can extend in the summer. We start in the beginning of what you call the long terms, I suppose, the fall or the spring terms, but not in the summer. We find that it's too disruptive. People are out. The email flow changes. People are out of town. People are taking vacations. The schools are closed. And a lot of our solid internships are in school settings, because everything happens in schools and our students learn so much in those settings. So you cannot start field in the summer. That's not because we don't like the summer. That's because the real world doesn't really flow like that. It doesn't support your education.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So what are the best things about completing field internships?
There are so many. How much time do we have? The best things about completing your field internships. Well, I'm completely biased, but that's good, because I know field quite well and am biased in favor of it. I mean, the biggest thing that we hear from our students all the time is just getting to use all the skills that you've been developing, to take all this knowledge and apply it. And the thing that got everybody into social work in the first place probably is wanting to impact people's lives in a positive way, whether that's one-on-one or in groups or in families or organizations or whatever. Really wanting to get out there and support people who are having a hard time, make changes in the system so that we have fewer people having such a hard time, all those things. So getting to actually apply it, getting to do it. It's like if somebody's explaining the rules to a board game to you and you have to sit there and listen to all the rules, like let's just get out there and do it. And so being out there and connecting with people, connecting with purpose, using the skills that you've worked so hard to develop, and learning about what's next. One of the things that I love so much about social work as a profession, this is not just a job, right? This is a profession that grows, and there's so much information. There's so much new technology, right? A few years ago, it was more about, I'm going to use the wrong terminology here. Scratch that. What I'm going to say is right now, for example, trauma-based relational interventions is a cutting edge technology right now. And we're learning about the efficacy of those and the evidence base to support that. Dialectical behavioral therapy was not a thing 20 years ago. Now it's everywhere, right? And so one of the things that's exciting about field is seeing all of the new edges. Like, yes, you've learned so much already, but now what? And there's always a new frontier, and field is a great place to see it. So those are some of the things that are really good about it. I would also just say not sitting in a classroom the whole time it's lovely to be out there and to know what's happening in the community and to take your passion or to take your curiosity and apply it out there. I will say some students really know exactly what they want to do and other students don't. And both of those things are fine. Curiosity is great. Openness to those opportunities is fabulous, especially at this stage. Some people are all about working with older adults or whatever it is, right? And that's good too. So it's lovely to put yourself into the puzzle and see where you fit in the community of this profession.
Thanks so much. If students at this point want more information or want to contact the field office, how can they find you?
We are very easily found, and that is on purpose. We want to make sure that you have the information that you need. I will say, as always, right, please do your homework. Please look on the school's website, poke around. There's, of course, a guide to field. You may have some very specific questions. We have our online guide to field for undergraduate students that's available. It has all kinds of information, but we are also human beings and eager to talk about field. I'm a big geek that way. SSW-field is our general field office at austin.mail. Whatever it is. So that's our general one. I'm easily found, TM Voss, Tanya Michelle Voss at mail.utexas.edu, and happy to hear from you. A lot of times at this stage of the game, people will reach out, students will reach out and say, what about this agency? What about that agency? Because we encourage our students not to reach out to agencies that you're interested in interning in. We need to vet all of our agencies in our office and make sure that they meet our eligibility criteria, make sure we get them all trained up, not just once, but every year. So please don't reach out to those agencies. Instead, reach out to us and say, hi, I'm interested in whatever it is, working in the juvenile justice system maybe. And I want to know if those are internships that we might be able to look for. I can't guarantee from semester to semester that everybody's going to be on board. It may be that an agency says, you know, we're taking a break, or our field instructor is on maternity leave, or, you know, different things happen. But we can say, I can say to you, yes, that's an agency we've worked with, or no, I've never heard of that agency. Thank you for bringing them to our attention. And we have a committee that will reach out to them and seek to develop that as an option for you, because we want you to have a lot of different options.
Thank you so much, both of you, for all of this information. Is there anything else you would like students to know before we wrap this up? Okay. Thank you for your time today, and I'm sure we'll be seeing you soon.